Hello freaks, retards, and anyone else who engages in metal content on the internet. You are witnessing a Joseph Rowley video. One day I will figure out a proper upload schedule. That day will come when I find the motivation to do so. While it's a tad overdue by now, I'm going to attempt milking the cash cow that is Këkht Aräkh. Këkht Aräkh is, of course, the Ukrainian black metal solo project of one Dmytro Yuginovic, also known as Crying Orc. Këkht Aräkh has, for better or for mostly worse, did I actually write it down like that? Këkht Aräkh has, for better or mostly for worse, become one of the biggest names in modern black metal, and to the dismay of many, including myself. While his debut album, Night and Love, managed to get some traction, it wasn't until the release of Pale Swordsman where he really kind of blew up. And as much as I'm embarrassed to say it, this is when I discovered him too. Këkht Aräkh is known musically for harnessing the old school Norwegian sound while integrating a lot of today's kind of sound and standards, and that's kind of why a lot of people, especially initially, kind of gravitated towards him. But the main focus of today's video is not only going to be my best attempt at reviewing his newest album, Morning Star. I say best attempt because I'm, truth be told, not a great album reviewer. I like to just kind of yap and get angry at things, but it's something I'd like to do maybe in the future. If that is content you guys are interested in, be sure to let me know. On top of reviewing this album, I'm also going to kind of talk about how I feel about it in the greater scope of the black metal scene and kind of culture on the internet. So without further ado, let's get started. Këkht Aräkh's third studio album, Morning Star, released on March 27th, 2026, which at the time of recording was not that long ago. I think first off, I should probably admit that, despite my broader knowledge and respect of black metal, I do actually quite enjoy Këkht Aräkh's first two albums. Night and Love especially, in my opinion, is a great record. All the kind of haters and naysayers should maybe give it a go, or even a second go if you've heard it before. Pale Swordsman's alright. I liked it a lot when I discovered it, when it came out, but I feel like as time has gone on, I've kind of drifted away from it. But regardless, my point is more so that the roots of this project seem very promising, and the songwriting and whatnot was pretty competent, and I was quite excited to see where the project went out, because it was kind of gearing up to be heading towards some more ambitious and kind of more genre-pushing things, I feel like. That never fucking happened. Night and Love was fantastic. It was a cold album that had some solid riffing, and the ambient and winter synth work were phenomenal. And overall, this resulted in a great listening experience. And while not as ambitious or interesting, Pale Swordsman still kind of continued this, like, coldness, which, and like, you cannot have a black metal album that doesn't sound cold. I feel like that's a very core aspect of the genre, is that kind of sense of coldness within the music. And I think Pale Swordsman, while not as ambitious or musically interesting, it still kind of clung on to this. And I think especially with the clean interludes, actually, it kind of helped patch up that loss of the more ambient stuff that I liked on the first one. Morning Star just bastardizes the best parts of what I liked about this project today, and especially back when I got into them back in 2021. It's bastardizing all these cool, kind of niche things that he was doing, and just really accentuating all that surface level shit that makes me just makes me feel gross. And this album welcomes LARPers with open arms, and it's not trying to hide it either. Half of the album isn't even black metal. It's like strange attempts at slowcore, folk, or even cloud rap shit. And I did like a solid 10 seconds of research and I couldn't find any backing to the claim, but I mean, I heard from a lot of just people online that apparently he tried to make it big in the cloud rap scene, failed, and then when kind of black metal started to get like popular on TikTok, he made the switch over and started putting shit out. I bring that up mostly just because you can hear a lot of this kind of on Morningstar. Like, if you replace the borderline fucking chat GPT level riffing with shitty trap beats, you wouldn't know. It's like cemetery level of songwriting, and for those of you with double-digit IQs, that's not a good thing. The biggest nail in the coffin is definitely the Blade feature, in my opinion, but that's a conversation topic that I'm going to touch on later, because I have a lot to say in that regard. Other than what I've mentioned so far, one of my biggest gripes with the album is how it blue balls me constantly. Like, a lot of the songs start out kind of interesting, and like the Këkht Aräkh I was hoping to hear, and then disaster strikes. You know, a lot of songs, they start off with like a serviceable riff, and I'm like, okay, cool. Okay, it's Femboys moaning. Okay, it's Duster without the heroin, or he's talking about castles again. Worst fucking lyrics ever. I'll get to the lyrics in a sec, but also, what is with this trend of so many artists trying to rip off Duster lately? Like, I noticed this in a lot of different genres and a lot of different artists. Like, I love Duster. They're a great band. Like, everything on Capsule Losing Contact is, like, generational music, in my opinion. But Duster's good because it's Duster. And there's so many, like, bands and, artists, and so many people are trying to replicate this, whether it's full-blown, like, Duster worship or, like, little passages in between their dream pop records. I am, of course, taking a jab at Ethel Cain there. What the fuck? It's a strange phenomenon that I don't quite understand. I get they're popular and they're, they're so niche, and it's a really good way to rate your music points, but Duster should stay Duster, I think. The other thing, too, is that you could argue this has been part of his writing style. Yeah, he's had clean stuff in all of his records, acoustic stuff in all of his records, but it's a lot of the older stuff is more intricate than what we're shown on, like, Morningstar. Like, Morningstar's, it's just so bare bones, like it's shit I would write drunk after 2 minutes of picking up an acoustic guitar at a party. Like, it's not that interesting to me. To circle back to the lyrics, though, this is kind of a funny topic to even bring up, because even if I do more review content, this is, like, not something I care about at all most of the time. I don't care about lyrics. Like, I'm a terrible lyricist in all of my projects, and I'll be the first person to tell you that, but I don't see them as that important in this style of music. That being said, what the fuck is he talking about on this record? I kind of read them as I went along because I was just curious, and I know it gets thrown around a lot, but the lyrics seem like they're AI generated. Like, I know they're not. He's just a fucking poser, but, like, it's still kind of funny. Like, every single song loosely mentions a castle, feeling vaguely sad, like flowers wilting, and then, like, just a bunch of references to past songs and records. And I swear to fucking God, I can't remember which song it is because I refuse to go look again. But one of the songs in the first half of the record, he quotes, "Row, row, row your boat." I cannot make this up. What are we doing? The other thing, like, black metal isn't known for its lyrical complexity, or at least, the good black metal that you should be listening to is not like otherworldly, life-changing poetry. It's kind of just evil riffs, and that's kind of it. But, like, regardless, this is fucking embarrassing. Like, it's as if he Googled black metal lyrical topics for 10 seconds and then wrote 50 minutes of bullshit with like the one AI overview he came up with. That's the other thing. This is his longest record yet. Why? Oh, I know why. It's because he dropped 6 fucking singles in 3 years. I understand that, like, you know, when you're a poser band and you're relying on stream slaves and LARPers to pay the bill, you gotta do that trickle release method and stuff. But, like, this is fucking insanity. Like, okay, let's pretend I'm a fucking moron and I like this kind of stuff. These singles still just don't make any sense. Like, prior to 2026, he released 2 singles, both of which I believe were in 2023, actually. And, of course, some super dorky, like, kind of music videos to go along with them. I'm not going to attack the music videos because black metal isn't exactly known for production value as far as music videos go. But the first 2 songs are basically the same. And at this point, by the way, we had, like, no idea what the album was going to be. We didn't even really know an album was coming. He just kind of dropped these singles and said, I'm working on music. And we're like, cool. We didn't really know what was going to happen. And so we dropped the 2 singles, and then that was it for, like, a year. And I dismissed them kind of right away because I just didn't like them. You know, they weren't, like, the worst things ever. I just didn't really care. I was listening to other stuff and they just weren't that interesting. But I'm like, okay, well, you know, I'm sure an album's going to come out eventually, you know, I'll see what happens. In 2025, however, he dropped a collaboration which remains one of the only 0.5 out of 5s I have ever given out on Rate Your Music. It's fucking garbage. This and the overall development of my frontal lobe killed any interest I had in Morning Star. I'm not going to get, like, too much into it because there's really not much to say. It's just terrible. It's not black metal. And it's just, like, there's nothing to talk about other than it's just garbage. Like, it's just kind of slop. The reason I bring it up is because this band that I'm going to look up and then I'm going to edit it really awesomely. Just you wait. The reason I bring it up is because this V855 band appears on Morning Star quite a few times, if I remember right. I couldn't tell you what they did. That's the thing with this album. This album has a lot of features of people who I'm assuming he's just friends with, because I've never heard of any of them other than Blade. We apparently got fucking Varg 2. If Varg 2 would like to drop Hevis Lyseteros 2, then he'll have my attention. Until then, who the fuck are you? But no, as far as I can tell, these aren't metal bands. I don't care, and I don't really understand, again, what they're doing here. The only feature that I noticed was the Blade feature, and that's because, well, I'll get to that. But that kind of ties my whole thing here. Does Këkht Aräkh even care about making a metal album? Like, metal to me has always been about, you know, the community around it. You know, not the chud, everyone should be friends and love each other. Dude, come have a toke, it's about the vibes, man. That's gay. That's stupid. That's poser shit. You know, but to me, metal has always been about, you know, the outcasts, making music, pushing the boundaries, you know. It's not a safe space. It's a safe space for those twisted enough to take refuge in its insanity. Like, it doesn't matter even what metal you're into. It's just, that's the way it is. And Këkht Aräkh doesn't seem to care about this at all. He doesn't talk about really other bands other than, like, the obligatory, I like Darkthrone. Me too, man. So does everyone else who's downloaded the TikTok app, it seems. And he doesn't engage with any of the culture. The closest thing we get to him doing anything even metal related is his gay photo shoots where he's rocking the Gucci clothes under his bullet belts and spikes that he got on fucking Temu. That's also kind of why I didn't even really want to get into an in-depth review of this slop, is it just goes against everything that black metal should be. Like, I mean, obviously I'm not going to like it, but also, like, I don't really want to give it a platform for constructive criticism, because I don't want to be constructive. Like, I could talk about how, oh, the production's amateur and still mind-numbingly boring. I could talk about the lazy and just derivative riffing. I'd much rather talk about the fact that this album was completely written for TikTok girls that read nothing but fucking yaoi. I'm going to talk about Blade now, because I feel like that kind of proves my point exactly. I need you to understand, Blade is now in the metal archives. The metal archives have been known for, well, they're very strict ruling on what is and isn't metal and what gets to be on their site and what doesn't get to be on their site. And to the dismay of many, that's how it's been for a very long time. Blade is on them. Blade is a SoundCloud rapper and known twink, and he is in the archives. For reference, okay, Last Days of Humanity, which is one of the most respected and well-known gore grind acts ever, they're not metal enough for the archives. Okay, they're not metal. They're too punk. Gore grindcore isn't. Oh, it's a case by case. Yeah, they're not metal enough. You know, we're gonna ignore the fact that their first record is straight carcass worship. They're not metal enough. Blade, that is real metal. He has weaseled his way on by just crawling onto the sad excuse of a record, and now it's just. I mean, it's kind of a meme at this point. But it's also just kind of fucking embarrassing that that's the way it is. I could continue to gripe about my issues with the archive moderators, but I feel like that could also just be another video. So I'll just kind of keep going. So, okay, whatever. Blade's on the record. Who cares? What does he do? He mounts like a fucking femboy. What are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? This is not genre pushing. He's not... You know, we're not changing anything. We're not doing anything unique. We're not doing anything different. It's just, it fucking sucks. I couldn't even tell specifically what his contributions are until I looked it up. And because he does nothing on it. Like, he doesn't even do Blade like, I'm not even a Blade fan or really know anything about him other than, like, you know, what I've been told and what I've kind of seen. He doesn't even do Blade stuff. He just whispers and moans like a fucking twink, and that's the song. Like, he just sits there and goes over like a watered down Dark Throne riff, and that's the song. And him and Numbnuts go back and forth. I feel like he's just tacked on for the cloud rap thing, and just because, and more importantly, because it would bring in those TikTok LARPers. Like, nobody was really talking about Aräkh. You know, like, he dropped a couple singles in 2026 because he's like, hey, I got a new album coming out. And no one was talking about it. Then he dropped the Blade one, and it's like, you got all the TikTok LARPers freaking out over it. It's like, oh my god, this is the next evolution, the next step in black metal. And then, you know, you got all the normal people where it's like, yeah, this fucking sucks. But people are talking, like, that this is the point we're getting to, where it's like, we're just talking about shit to talk about it. Like, there's no actual compelling reason to have a discussion about or get excited for it. It's just kind of debate and conversation for the sake of it. Like, for the sake of your name being out there. It's stupid. It all kind of just boils down to Aräkh has become nothing but a trend-hopping clout chaser. Like, and that's not black metal at all to me, or really to anyone with half a brain. And I find it entertaining too. A lot of people are defending that. You know, most people who defend this record aren't even defending the record. They just attack people who don't like it. You know, you ask these fucking idiots what they like about the record, and they either blank or they just, like, lose their minds. It's like, oh, Aräkh has done it again. All the basement-dwelling dweebs are angry. Stay mad. Or, oh, he's pushing the boundaries by, basement dwellers, stay mad. And all they can comment on, they can't even comment on what they actually like about the stuff that's coming out. They're just commenting on the fact that people don't like it. Like, it's, what the fuck are we doing? You know, I think my favorite genre of review that I've seen is, I've seen a lot of these. It's not like one or two. I've seen quite a few of these. It's by these, like, LARPing fucking esoteric people. and they their entire review is in like old English font that they've copy pasted from the first website that comes up when you look that up. And they're talking about how Morning Star is high art and they're going to carry this art gently, and how it's sitting with them for a lifetime and this and that. What the fuck are you talking about? Even my favorite albums, you know, I wouldn't describe them like, I carry this with a heavy heart as the wind blows on my nutsack. Like, no, I just go, yeah, man, Show No Mercy's fucking awesome. Or, yeah, man, some level of Suicide fucks me up, man. Or something crazy. I'm not gonna say, you know, oh, this Slayer record is fantastic. I'm gonna carry Jeff Hanneman's fucking ballsack in my mouth for eternity. That's stupid. I don't know, to summarize my overall thoughts, this album's kind of dangerous. Like, yeah, it's bad, but it's also just dangerous for the precedent that it sets for people getting into the genre and people trying to make new black metal. You know, we've already seen copycats of this romantic black metal thing do decently well. There was the whole Drogveil AI, whatever the fuck that was, that I forgot to make a video on. This isn't a good thing, though. These records are anti-black metal. Like, it's... Black metal was never meant to be commercial. And even you know, the classics are been kind of commercialized. If you've been playing the game for 40 years, or 30, 40 years, you know, you kind of get that pass. You can't come onto the game out of nowhere and just blow up and, like, be a household name like Immortal and Darkthrone. It's not fair, and it's just not the way. There's so much black metal that's coming out that's either carrying the torch of the classics or even still pushing the boundaries of what can be done with black metal. And this is happening from new guys and classic guys, you know, like, there's a lot of old bands still putting cool, unique shit out. This new Këkht Aräkh record, it's not just bad, it's an insult to anyone who has any respect or care for black metal as a genre of music or a culture even. I'm tired about talking about this slop. I'm Joseph Role, and I'm tired of LARPers. Thanks for watching, and keep an eye out for my band, SERAPHIM Blood. We're a black thrash metal band from Canada, and we got some cool stuff coming on the way. I have other projects as well, all of which I just mentioned is going to be linked down below. If you like this kind of content and want to see more of it, be sure to like and subscribe, do all that stupid shit, and thanks for watching.